Traders, I am Stephen Davis, Senior Market Strategist. RJO Futures, Friday morning here to talk to you about the grain markets. Okay, we had export sales out this morning, very disappointing export sales. So corn, soybeans, and wheat are all trading lower. Even for the week, export sales on soybeans almost zero. So we'll get to soybeans here in 1 minute time. The corn market, okay, our first chart of the day, a daily corn chart here, and you can see corn, March corn is above the 50-day and the 100-day moving average. So this is a perfect storm in my analysis. We've got a crop report next week, supposed to be a bearish report. Managed funds are short corn and wheat in here, and here's the corn market above some of these technical moving averages. So watch and see what happens here. This crop report, January 12th, the final estimate of 2016 production, and all of this big corn and soybean production worked into the price of the row crops here. Okay, the soybean market. It's hard for soybeans to sustain any rallies without daily announcements from the USDA of export sales of our soybeans to the world. So this morning, again, very disappointing weekly export sales. I don't think it means much here the first week of the new year, but if this were to continue, certainly something to keep an eye on. Our next chart of soybeans is the daily chart with the same, I put the same 50 period and 100 period moving average. You can see the 100 period is underneath the soybean price and the 50 period is above the soybean price. So I'm not sure this chart means anything. I'm not as friendly as I am to the corn charts that we just talked about. Okay, so Argentina, they got a lot of rain, similar to last year. The market remembers this. Argentina got big rains last year. It happened again this year. So sort of Argentina, topic for another conversation, a breadbasket to the world here. And 100 years ago, this Argentina, Buenos Aires compared to London or New York, and today not so economically feasible as they were 50, 100 years ago. Nonetheless, the weather in February makes soybeans over there, so we've got a lot of time. Keep in mind, soybeans are a drought-resistant crop, and they pollinate in February. Most of them, the majority of them, so we've got a lot of time here going forward. The wheat market, again, there's supposed to be some rebalancing starting next week, January 9th, big purchases of wheat, big purchases of corn. Do not buy corn and wheat according to what you read in the newspapers or the headlines telling you rebalancing and buying of wheat and corn. My analysis, or my instructions to you would be to read and gather all the information you can and then make your own comparisons with technical analysis and make your decisions that way. So I think this appetite for commodities here in 2017 is here. It's going to be fun. This fiscal stimulus that's supposed to happen brings a little inflation in the air, and this is good for commodities. So some things to watch are People's Republic of China, their economic growth, and certainly OPEC too here. OPEC, the market's paying attention to OPEC, so we should too. And crude oil moves higher. Certainly corn and soybeans can move higher. Everybody have an excellent weekend.